went. Okay, so we're back to talking about how to mount and frame things for the show. We're hoping to talk about, well, we are going to talk about how to take care of non-standard 2D-esque work. So you want to hang it from the pegboard, but it's not something you can easily mount with a mat or even with eye hooks and wire. So this is a ceiling tile.
We're getting creative. So this piece is acrylic on ceiling tile. As you guys know, ceiling tiles can chunk off a corner pretty easily. They are not that robust in their density, so they're not great. But we think we found a solution to make this one hang. So I am stabbing a hole through it, and I would suppose you would want your students' consent before doing such things. But I'm stabbing a hole through it, and then I'm going to take this wire and I can send it through the front and make kind of a loop. These aren't wire cutters, are they?
No, but you can use that part. It'll clip it. Way back for a pearl.
About there. There we go. So I'm going to send it through again from the back to the front. I want the back pretty tight so it doesn't hang too high.
You don't want it to come up above the top of the piece.
But I don't want it so high and so tight that it would rip through these little holes that we're making. So in this one, I'm just using the back of a needle tool to make a coil down this wire. And it's actually pretty even. Decent. So then that's going to be kind of the anchor point, is having these coils. I don't think it detracts from the work. And we have an apparatus to hang. Added support
Would be
on the pegboard would be to put a peg.
so you can actually see it. These are just the standard pegboard hooks that we would get, that we have at the show. So you can literally hang it underneath. And yes, you would see a small amount of the hook sticking up from the bottom. If you bought these ahead of time, you could actually just paint the tip to match the bottom of the board.
Yep.
But the idea being that then it's not relying
Some additional
solely on that wire, so it's not going to pull through.
Perfect. So one random oddball piece as an idea. Next, we're going to do more standard things again.
So if you're like my school, I found that buying canvases is almost as cheap as buying canvas board, and since I only have like 12 students, this works really well. Best way to do these is old school eye hooks, and
We need a little backdrop to show them.
maybe they're tiny.
These little wee ones. So
These are super tiny ones. They're going to work great for an 8x10, and you're just going to figure out where you want them to hang up near the top. I usually go below the slit in the side of the board where they put it together. And if you can just do it with your finger strength, great. You're just going to push them in and then twist them. But sometimes, if you're like me, your fingers aren't functioning, it's helpful to just smack it with a hammer.
you can tap with a needle tool and a hammer. You can smack the actual hook with a hammer. Get creative. Get a little Western with it. You can do pressure with pliers and turn.
Yep, all those things work. That might actually be where we have to go with this because I'm not being very successful.
I'll fight it.
The other thing that I do, because I have a Dremel in my classroom because I teach sculpture, and sometimes I find that it's handy for one of our, like our assemblage. I tend to use the Dremel and drill a smaller hole, and then they go in really easy once you do that.
Pilot holes.
Yep, pilot holes are the bomb. You have to be really careful you don't go in too deep. One of the ways you can do that is you can make a little tape flag on your drill so that you don't go past the tape flag on the drill bit, and then you won't go too deep, because it doesn't need to be that deep. These are only like 1/4 of an inch that actually has thread. But once you have both eye hooks in, once again, you're going to grab some wire. You're going to run the wire through the eye hooks. You're going to twist on either side, and you'll have a nice surface or a nice apparatus to hang from.
Beautiful.
It's easy. It catches the pegboard hooks fairly easy.
So we're finally winning.
Oh, excellent. This is the job you give to the kid with like the awesome hand strength
Or aggression.
or aggression. Just make sure he's kind to the painting.
So there's one,
Or she.
we'll knock the other in there, and then we'll finish this process for you.
But I definitely recommend having your students help you. It's their work that's going to the show. They need to learn how to mount it for display. I think it's in our state standards too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Those are
definitely
changing.
in the new ones that are coming out.
Yeah, there you go. Success. Okay, so we have 2 eye hooks in here, and we're just gonna string some wire through them and twist them to hold. Picture hanging wire specifically is probably better. This is what I have, so this is what I'm using.
And it'll work, but picture hanger wire is a lot thinner, and it's traditionally stranded wire,
Right.
so it's a little simpler.
So if you make it long enough, you can go end to end, or you can just wrap it closer by the hooks onto itself.
Just make sure you lay the ends of the piece of the wire down so that they're not going to poke through the canvas.
I usually do a little twist so the hook is hanging on the smooth piece, not the twisty side.
And then it's going to hang really easily.
Cool.
Next.
Last one for this segment is going to be a large piece. And this was a hand-stretched canvas. It's done on 2x2 boards. Pretty beefy canvas, oil painting. So
Super
heavy, yeah. For this one, we opted to go with these much bigger hinged hangers that you screw in with screws. Is this the top?
That is the top.
So for this, we're gonna go probably about 6 inches down.
These are easier. You can actually screw them into the flat part of the wood. You don't have to screw them to the inside of the actual stretched piece of, or the wood stretcher bars.
So this, you can use a drill, probably easier. But
Definitely easier.
these just screw right into the wood. And then work. So
Which
that
will save you a
one
lot of effort so that they can be. They
is
can
at
hang
8
straight.
inches.
You want them to be even so they hang straight.
Your turn.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And it's right about here. I am going to right over like that. All right. I feel like I keep
Get the picture hanging wire that is rated for like 50 to 100 pounds for a piece like this. This is not 50 pounds, but
Ace Hardware's your friend for that.
and I would hang this one on all fours, so actually you can do a little shimmy, get that out of the middle.
It works easier with the standard picture wire.
And then this one would be secure. Now it's 4 lengths of wire, so that would work with whatever you have. Nice and secure.
And like 4 screws into these 2x2s,
Yeah.
so it's not going anywhere.
Cool. So that is framed hanging and random material hanging.
For those odd jobs.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Good luck.